Hi guys. So I don't know, I feel like I always have the need to apologize for my car videos, but anyway, so be it. So just to recap, I am doing my placement in it's Groton Public School System, which is a local school around here. So and I'm working with the special education department. So I wanted to talk a little bit this week about sort of the gray areas of social work, because I think that some of that is really hard for the rest of, I guess, the world, the people that we work with, for them to swallow, really is how I want to describe that. So I have noticed, and I think, I've talked a little bit about it in past videos, but that I really noticed that doing my placement in a school, that traditionally school is pretty black and white. And I think that that's where teachers feel comfortable, and I think that that's where paraprofessionals feel comfortable, and I also think that that's where school administration feels comfortable. So, again, I always feel like I've talked about it before a little bit, but the district that I'm doing my placement at is really trying to push for more of a social work field, and having, especially some of the kids that they realize have a little bit more of a tough time in their school system, they try to push for that. A little bit of like a therapeutic component to deal with some of the mental health issues that are going on in the school system without having to outplace kids, because we do have plenty of other schools and programs outside of the regular ed school districts that handle a lot of the really strong behavioral problems and kids that just can't be maintained in a public school. But it's obviously, the schools want to maintain children in the least restrictive environment as possible. So anyway, so this district is really making a push for that. So, with that being said, I think that, like I said, schools are very black and white. So, when little Johnny throws something at another kid, they want to be able to open up their book of, consequences and say, okay, well, when you throw a toy or whatever the case, this is your consequence and this is what's going to happen. And that's it. So it doesn't matter if it's Johnny or Susie or Mary or Tommy or whatever. Every child is going to get the same consequence. So obviously in social work, because we see the world in a much more gray fashion, and things are not black and white, and every human being is so different, I think it's easier for us as social workers to recognize that not every child needs the same thing, because the reason that little Johnny threw that toy or whatever the case it was is going to be different from the reason that Mary decided to throw it, from the reason that, Tommy, or I don't even know the names I said anymore, but every child is going to have a different reason behind why they did something. So I think that really comes back to social work having such a feel of, we need to figure out what the function behind the behavior is, and understanding that each human being, each client, each child, each whatever we want to call them that we encounter is going to have a different function for the same behavior. You know what I mean? So, for example, I want to talk a little bit about it today. So again, a lot of my work is being done within preschool classrooms because they're integrated. So there's going to be, different behaviors than you might see in, a typical regular ed classroom of preschoolers. But, as we know, preschoolers have their own set of behaviors regardless, just because of the age that they are. So today, I was outside with a group of preschoolers. They're on the playground, and there was two in particular that are on the spectrum, and were just not engaging with their peers. So obviously, the goal for them, actually one of them is, because of how severe his behaviors are, his one goal is to have interactions with other kids. So at this point, there was a teacher, myself, and a paraprofessional out on the playground. So everybody was just kind of looking around, and it's like, oh, here they are, they're over there, they're not engaging, what are we supposed to do? It's, whatever. And, so I felt like I was kind of like, okay, is it just because we're doing social work and that's the lens that I'm using here? Or like, why is it that I'm the only one who thinks maybe we should think outside of the box a little bit? So I went over with them, and, I invited one of their, what we consider, and I hate to use the word, but they call them the typical peers. And I brought one of them over, and we were looking out. It was kind of like a fenced area, and on the other side it was kind of not really woods, but kind of like a wooded area. And we started playing pretend, and we're looking out into the wooded area, and the typical peer is looking at them, and they're like, oh, I see a dragon, I see this, I see that, and they're having fun with it, and they're playing with it. And then next thing you know, their friends who are not considered typical peers, who weren't engaging with the other students, are sitting there, and next thing you know, it's, I see, and there were silly things, I see a teddy bear, I see a snake, I see this, I see that, and they're joining right in. So at this point, the teacher even, came over to me afterwards and was like, wow, how did you know to do that? And I was like, to me, I didn't know to do that. I was just having fun with them, thinking outside of the box. It's not, you tell the kid to go engage with their peers, and at 3 or 4 years old, they're going to go engage with their peers. You know what I mean? You have to be creative, and it's not black and white. So anyway, so I know I'm over my time now. I apologize. I feel like all of mine lately has been over the time, so bear with me, guys. Thank you. But so my question for you guys is, what experiences have you guys had in your field placement where maybe others have thought a little more black and white, and you've had to be more, shades of gray to, help remedy the situation or whatever's going on, or to help the client in a better way. So I look forward to hearing what you guys have to report, and I'll talk to you later.